My name is Vivek Guru, and I am the founder of a community called as Pune Ploggers. So I am a volunteer who is working to solve the problems at local level. So moving ahead, we have our first guest from SWacH, Suchismita Pai ma'am. She'll be talking about what SWacH is, how SWacH is in the entire waste management problem. Let me introduce something about SWacH. Me being on ground, I know SWacH is the lifeline of Pune, to be honest. Let me be very candid about this. Because every time we go and start collecting plastic waste on the roads, we give it up to the SWacH people. There are SWacH ladies who are picking up, collecting doorstep, waste. They are going to each and every household and they are collecting all the trash from them. They are segregating it, and then they are, sending it for further segregation and disposal. So every time we are working on ground, SWacH people are very helpful to us. So they have become the lifeline, and they are covering more than 70% of entire Pune city, and they are collecting doorstep trash every single day. Definitely, they are the lifeline of our city. So the SWacH journey, it's a pilot program which was implemented by Kaagaz Patra Kashtakari Panchayat in collaboration with Department of Adult Education, which is SNDT Women's University, and they were planning to enable more than 1,500 waste pickers initially. So that's how their initiative started, and now they have become a full-fledged waste management service in the city, and they are trying to expand more. Recently, I'll talk about the protest that was going on, because I was also a part. I demanded PMC to let SWacH be the lifeline of the city, because they have helped us like anything. So me introducing them won't be fair, because I don't have a lot of knowledge about SWacH. Let's talk to Suchismita ma'am, because she knows the whole core of the SWacH, how it operates and what are the ins and outs, how they collect waste, what is the real scenario behind the waste which is being picked up every day in the city. What do they do with that waste? Where is this waste coming from? The amount of waste, everything. Ma'am, I will hand over to you. We want to know more about SWacH.
Yeah. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Vivek. That was such a wonderful introduction, and I enjoyed listening to everything you said, including the fact that, I don't know whether we can actually restore the earth to the way it was. I doubt that very much, but we can certainly try and make it a better place overall, and for the future generations, leave it in a better way than we have had so far. So the main thing is about SWacH is, like you mentioned, one of the things that you mentioned is that there were so many catastrophic events like cyclones and, flash floods and climate change and all those kind of things. The problem with all these things is they are very, very difficult to understand for the common man, because as an individual, what can I do as an individual that will make a difference to climate change? I mean, that's such a huge word, that's such a huge thing that government have been debating about, that as an individual, what can I do? Now, the thing is, waste is something that is important and that is part of all our lives. The day we start existing, we start creating waste, whether it is in terms of the food we eat, whether it is in terms of the clothes we use, whether it's in terms of the, anything, the transport or anything that we use, waste is created every day. And now we at SWacH, and that's a big thing. But we at SWacH actually concentrate on the solid waste that comes through our through the way we conduct ourselves every day. We eat food, so there's obviously the peelings, the kitchen waste that everybody knows about. We use things like plastic for our milk delivery. We use glass for our beverages and stuff like that. We use paper. We get newspaper every day. So all that comes under solid waste. Now, how can we make sure that this thing is being restored? Like, let's use the word which is talking about this year's, World Environment Day. How can we restore it back? Recycling is a big way to restore it back to the planet. I mean, to give it back to the planet, maybe not exactly in the shape that we found it, but maybe in a different kind of a way. So what waste pickers do, what waste pickers bring to the table is they ensure that recycling happens to the maximum level that's possible in any city and in any space. And that is why waste pickers become an important part of the whole system. Now, if you've already said that Kaagaz Patra Kashtakari Panchayat has been, part of how SWacH started its journey. And I've shared a screen for anybody who's interested in the details. But let me tell you, 2007 we started, and today we cover 8 lakh. We cover over 8 lakh properties, 8.5 lakh properties, of which slums are also part, which is very unusual because in most cities, slums do not get everyday service for their waste to be collected on a regular basis. And the system is also very innovative because it is basically the person who creates the waste, who pays for it. They actually have a direct relationship with the waste picker. So they have to pay what we call user fees. So other people are not involved. The municipality is only involved to take the waste away and to make sure that the administration happens properly, for which we do get a small sum to run the thing. This is the benefits of actually having something like SWacH. So I'm very grateful that you were part of the protest. That's a wonderful thing to hear. And if you look at it, this is what we do. The way we do this is because we save petrol, because of landfilling that happens less, because less transportation happens for materials. We save paper, we recycle plastic. So all these are the things that we do. Now, one of the things that we were going to talk about is how can we make this happen as individuals at home? Firstly, our waste ideally should be segregated. We have wet and dry waste that can absolutely be utilized properly if it is just segregated into merely these two categories. Wet waste is anything that is compostable, anything that is जिसे हम हिंदी में नैसर्गिक बोलते हैं या नेचुरल बोलेंगे, उसे हम वेट वेस्ट कहते हैं, and that can go into back into the earth as earth itself. And all gardeners now know that wet waste is great for their plants. It is giving back nutrition to the earth. So that is one way to restore that. SWacH waste pickers also offer services. Apart from collecting wet waste from door to door, we also do service large societies by helping them create the compost. So that is one part that we do. As for dry waste, Pune actually has a waste collection of about 16 to 1800 tons. I mean, the figure varies sometimes, and of waste every day, of which around 12 to 1400 tons of waste is collected by the SWacH waste pickers. 2/3 of it is normally wet waste, so that is composted thanks to the waste pickers, and 1/3 of it is dry waste. Now, in dry waste, we have inert waste, so it is essential for us to segregate this and make sure that the wet and dry waste do not mix. That is one thing that individuals can do. Resident welfare associations actually have a huge part to play in this, because they nowadays we have larger and larger societies. We have societies which have more than 100 homes, for instance, or we have anything that has got more than 70 houses and or households, or which has got around 100 kgs of waste being produced in a day, is actually what we call a bulk waste generator. And a bulk waste generator, if you look at it, has got a huge role to play, because they have to have the space. They can do things like we collect, wherein items like your old clothes, your old shoes, old e-waste, all that is collected, and through SWacH we actually make sure that it gets the usage of this gets extended actually. So we are actually ensuring that, for instance, I'll give you a small example. As individuals, what we do, clothes, for instance, I mean, a t-shirt takes 2,750 liters of water. You spoke about the Mutha River. So I'm just saying that a t-shirt takes 2,750 liters to produce a cotton t-shirt. So if you can just extend the life of the t-shirt by 9 months by like say a child's clothing item can be given away to SWacH, they will make sure that somebody who is wanting that item is brought to them. So sustainability, individuals can make sustainability happen, and it is up to resident welfare associations to through various actions like ensuring that waste is segregated, ensuring collection drives for waste which cannot be given in everyday waste, making sure that there is things like water harvesting, making sure that you give spaces for sorting of waste so that it happens properly. There are many ways that a resident welfare association can participate in this. I know of a resident welfare association. Of course, we have a guest, I know, further down the conversation who's going to talk about what they did. But there are many societies like this which actually segregate waste into more categories. They make sure that the biohazardous waste, for instance, does not go into the daily system, or the hazardous waste like batteries, tube lights, those kind of things are given separately. So individuals and societies together can do a lot to restore the ecosystem. I do not want to exceed the time that has been allotted to me. There is a lot of things that we can talk about, and I'm happy to take specific questions at the end of it so that we can actually answer what people are thinking about, rather than have a general talk about, like me talk and everybody just listen. So over to you again, Vivek. Let's carry the conversation ahead.
Thank you so much, Suchismita ma'am. So basically, when we talk about all these things, waste being collected from doorships and how societies can individually contribute to the entire waste management scenario, the one thing that you mentioned was very valuable, that is the We Collect drives. Because these can help, these societies to coordinate in a localized manner the waste we collect at their end. And maybe I have this question, and if you can address this in just one go.
Yes.
Is it possible for societies to coordinate with SWacH and organize these drives for their societies individually?
Absolutely. So I have just, that's a wonderful question, and I'm so glad you asked. So see, before the lockdown happened, we were actually collecting like tons and tons of waste, every month, wherein we used to have these drives at all kinds of public places, and we would have people come and give us the materials that they had used. And this includes things like books, jars of glass. It includes clothes, shoes, you name it. I mean, literally artifacts, you name it, and it comes into the We Collect system. And I must tell you, this is a self-sustaining initiative, because what happens is, it is not like we are giving these things away. I mean, अगर आप किसी को मुफ्त में कुछ दे दो, तो उसका value नहीं होता है. So what we do is we charge a very nominal amount. Like books, let me give you an example of. We have a list of books that you can actually order from. I can share the list with all the people on this group, for instance, and you can order these books, and we will sell them to you for 25% of the original mark price, and we will package them to you. We will courier them to you. So it is a great way of making sure that a bestseller that has been lying in your cupboard for so long, which you have not read and you're never going to read again, is used by somebody else can get it for a less price. And it also saves the environment, because saving paper is equal to saving trees. So we can have societies call us. The number is below. That is the helpline number 9765 999 500. You can call us. You can send us a mail. We will be more than happy to come to your societies. You can just do it separately during lockdowns. Just addressing this issue, during lockdowns, we do not obviously encourage congregation. So what we do is we say कि आप लोग इकट्ठा करके रख लो, हम एक pre-specified day पे हम आके आपसे ये पूरा लेके चले जाएंगे. So it is not difficult at all. You can also have U-drops if you're individuals with lot of materials. You can, and this is, what I spoke about collection is what an RWA can do. But if you're an individual, suppose you're moving out of your house and you need to give away a lot of things, we have our center at Aund. You can coordinate with the helpline and you can drop off all these materials, and rest assured there is no better way to actually make sure that it gets reused much more than you would ever imagine.
Thank you so much, Suchismita ma'am.